for naughty by nature.
For our assignment, we looked at improving the skills of two fundamental aspects of basketball, dribbling and free throw shooting. Shooting can be defined as a gross motor skill as it requires large muscle groups to complete the activity. It is a discrete skill as there is a definite start and end point. As the performer initiates the action and the environment does not change from trial to trial, this is known as a closed skill. Dribbling. Dribbling is also seen as a gross motor skill. The use of large muscle groups is present. However, fine motor skills can also be seen in the fingertips when trying to control the ball. Dribbling is a continuous skill. There is no definite start or finish, and could go on for an extended period of time. It is also a closed skill as the performer initiates the action and the environment is stable. Testing and shooting consisted of 3 sets of 10 shots from the free throw line, like those shot in a game situation. The aim is to improve the number of shots made. Abilities like hand-eye coordination, balance, and technique all come into play. Qualitative testing will also take place for shooting in areas of foot positioning, bent knees, appropriate hand placement, use of non-dominant hand, and follow-through, and will be given a score out of 7. For dribbling, cones will be set up over a 15-meter line running down the basketball court. The participant will move in and out of each cone using both hands as fast as possible. Abilities such as hand-eye coordination, timing, and finger speed will all be utilised. This will be conducted 3 times and an average time will be taken. Qualitatively, basic elements will also be reported in areas of wrist control, fingertip control, and height of ball bounce. Training took place over a 6-week period, with drills looking to improve both shooting and dribbling. Training was block practice and took place 3 times a week for 30 minutes a session. In week 1, shooting was the main focus. We looked at drills that improved the technique of the dominant hand by taking away the use of the non-dominant hand. Aim wasn't necessarily important in week 1. More focus went into technique and the BEEF acronym: balance, eyes, elbow, follow through. In week 2, we had a greater focus on dribbling. Shooting took place at the start of the week, where the participant adjusted to shooting at a target. In the later sessions of week 2, the participant aimed to gain greater control with their dominant hand, performing a number of drills, looking at controlling the ball at various heights, using the pads of the hand, and keeping the ball close to the body were the main aims of the week 2. In week 3, we introduced non-stationary dribbling. The participant dribbled up and down the court at a moderate pace, with the main aims being to keep the head and eyes up at all times, as well as trying not to let the ball bounce over waist height. For shooting in week 3, the non-dominant hand was introduced, and emphasis was placed on using the follow-through to help the ball sink once it hits the rim. Gaining power through the use of the lower body was also looked at. In week 4, the participant completed some dribbling drills where the objective was to weave in and out of cones whilst maintaining full control of the ball and keeping his head up the whole time. throw line with eyes closed. Feedback on technique was then given. In week 5, a bit of random practice was introduced. The participant dribbled to a cone and then completed a skill which was yelled out by the coach. This kept the participant guessing and made the drill a little bit more difficult. Also saw a drill where the coach would hold up a number on his fingers and an approaching dribbling participant would call a number out, then drop back and shoot the free throw. This ensured the participant would always be keeping his head up and eyes up at all times. In week 6, we completed post-testing, where results in both the shooting and the dribbling were improved in both qualitative and quantitative testing. Results from the pre and post tests for the quantitative free throw shooting were very encouraging, as we see the scores go from an average of 2.6 to 4.6. Just as impressive were the qualitative results. Improvements were made in nearly all of the criteria. Especially pleasing was the use of the lower body through the bending of the knees, seeing a score rise from a 3 to a 6. As with the shooting, quantitative scores for the post-test dribbling were superior to that of the pre-testing. The participant bettered his time by more than 4 seconds. The results for the qualitative dribbling test were not as large, as a lot of the scoring was already higher from the pre-test. The participant, however, did show a significant increase in overall ball control and keeping his head and eyes up while coming down the court. This was encouraging. So I improved in all qualitative and qualitative scoring for both shooting and dribbling, which was my overall goal, so that was all went right. What went wrong was basically the practices were just a little bit boring. They just lacked a bit of variety. Just doing block practice, just at the end of it, just got the training. Would have been better to do some random practice, something like that. Also, I just struggled to find time to actually do the practices, just like uni work and working a job and stuff as well. So that was what went wrong. What I've changed is our training program pretty much. I just changed the way it's made up. So instead of doing 3 30 minutes, just do 2 45 minutes. It's just a bit more interesting. Do more random practice, and I just try and change it up as much as we can. Throw some games in there, just make it a little bit more interesting for myself. But overall, I think it was a success because I still had fun doing the program. It just wasn't as fun as it could have been, and I got improved in all the areas. So it's still a success overall.
training was repetitive, the program still showed results. There was a 20% increase in free throw shooting accuracy, as well as a decrease in agility runtime while dribbling and maintaining full control of the ball. Training programs seemed to be quite repetitive, and so became boring, which caused a drop in motivation. The training program also lacked in-game practice and the feeling of having an opponent. If I could, I would change up the training to include more variety in warm-ups and drills, as well as changing it up so it's not only block practice,